They say that, when you start a business because you're good at that one thing, but you're not necessarily good at running a business or know how. And gosh, that could not be truer. I did not grow up in an entrepreneurial family. So when I decided to go out, I think it's actually a good thing that I didn't know what was in store, because I don't know if I would have had the cojones to say, yeah, sign me up. It's kind of this like blind entrepreneurial faith and just keeping your head down and working. And then it's like one day you look around and you see an amazing team and an amazing office and amazing clients. And it's like, holy cow, it was all worth it. But there certainly were times, especially in that first year or so, where, I was learning on the go. I did not have a handbook. I was making stuff up as I went. And one of the things I always tell my team is fake it till you make it. Because what people want are strong opinions and confidence. And I'd rather have someone be overly confident and then, later figure out how to do it, rather than say, gosh, I don't know. So that first year was a lot about being overly confident. Luckily, as an entrepreneur, sometimes not luckily, but in this case, luckily, there's just so much going on that you can't take your eye off the ball. I had bills to pay, I had clients to work on, and I had new business to go after. And I try to take each no as a learning experience. And that sounds super cliche, but I think, I'm not a believer in getting sidetracked. And I think, getting told no is for me, it's an opportunity to learn and say, okay, what could I have done differently? I am relentless. One of our core values at Covet PR is hunger, and to be self-starter, and to be tenacious, and to be relentless. And, in some cases, no certainly means no. But in the world of business, I think no means not right now or try again later. And so that's just the approach I take. When I get no's, I just, file it away. It's okay. Set a reminder 3 months from today, circle back. Don't ask for anything. Just say, thinking of you, saw this article, wanted to send, or just wanted to update you on some exciting news at Covet. We're continuing to grow. And, don't be salesy, but just let them know that they're still on your mind. I have surrounded myself with a really amazing network of people that are just smarter and been doing this longer. Because one thing that I have learned is no matter what industry you're in, same SHIT, different day. And there's no magic pill for anything. I think the best thing you can do, whether it's day 1 on the job or day 20, is surround yourself with people that have been through it, because there's something to be said for knowing that there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And sometimes when it's just you, it can feel really, really lonely. Now, this is easier said than done, is don't take it personally, because if you take everything personally when you have a company, you will spend your whole time, beating yourself up. You have to at some point say, okay, on to the next. And that doesn't mean you forget about it, but it means that you can't please everyone at all times. And, I am a natural born pleaser. I care more about, the people who work here than anything else. And sometimes that's a detriment. Sometimes you have to remember that, this is a business. Nothing motivates me more than a loss. And what I mean by that is, when people say no, or when people say it was great, but we're moving on, that actually fuels me to be better, to be stronger, to come out harder, guns a-blazing, because I want to prove people they're wrong. So use a no as motivation and as kind of fuel to keep going. I joke about this, but I threw out whatever chip of shame or pride, and I mean that in a good way, but you can't have an ego in this field, because if you have an ego, you will constantly just be disappointed. I mean, it's a sad reality, but it's true. Yeah, well, I, as a rule, do not negotiate, because what happens when you start to negotiate is you're starting to say, hey, we're really not as good as we said, or hey, I actually just threw this price out hoping someone would pay, but really this was my bottom kind of line. And the way that we price at Covet is very fair. You're paying for two things. You're paying for really good talent, and you're paying for their time. So quite simply, if you want to pay less, you're cutting corners, and you're going to get less time, and you're going to get not as big of a team. And what that equals is lesser results. And so for me, it's very easy for me to push back, because it's very black and white. It's all about getting people to buy in into kind of what you're offering, and buy into something that's not, a bait and switch, but truly buy into it. And so no matter what stage you are in the business, if you know your value and your worth as an entrepreneur, it's really just how you package it. At every stage of the company, as we grew, as I brought in more talent, as as I opened up different offices, as I had different divisions, I was able to price myself higher because we were offering more of a value. So I think it's, don't be delusional, but at the same time, know your worth and don't be afraid to say what you're worth and to stand behind it. There's this very well-known Richard Branson quote, and I'm totally going to butcher it, but it's something where if someone gives you an amazing opportunity and you don't know how to do it, say yes and figure it out later. And I've always loved that and remembered that. And I think as Covet grew and as clients said yes that I never thought would, and I thought, oh my God, I just won them over, but how am I actually going to make this happen? There's something to be said in seizing the opportunity and having confidence. It's a rough world out there, and that's why it's not for everyone. That's why 9 out of 10 startups fail. You have got to pick yourself up and just keep going.